Alright, so now coordinate geometry part 4. So we've learned 3 formulas. We've learned the distance formula, x1 minus x2 all squared plus y1 minus y2 all squared, and that's the square root of all that, right? We've learned the midpoint formula and we've learned the gradient formula. So the gradient formula was m is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, or rise over run, but with rise over run you must check your slope. Check slope, so there's a bit of a problem with this one, right? This one is flawless, a bit of a problem. And then your last one was your midpoint formula. So midpoint, it's a point, so you got to have an x and a y. It's got nothing to, these are values. Okay, this is going to give you one value. Midpoint, so obviously common sense, you just add up the two and divide it. Okay, you don't need to memorize any of these. This common sense from, I guess, I don't know, year 4. This from Pythagoras' theorem that you should have done so many times of, c squared, and that's where the square root comes from, because the opposite of square is square root. So c squared equals a squared plus b squared, right, from Pythagoras. I'll write it here again. Okay, and then c is equal to, there it is. So it looks very similar to that. And then we have our gradient. Gradient came from rise over run, which again you should have done a lot of last year. And then you should know that rise is y, run is x, because rise over run, that's y and that's x. And therefore, I just showed you in previous examples why it's takeaway. So therefore, all this should be really easily memorized, I believe. All right, so let's have our actual question that's going to combine everything of this. So let me have a point. Let's go, we've got A, we're going to label it 3 and minus 2, and let's do B, which is 5 and minus 6. Okay? Alright, so we're going to find the distance first. So distance would equal to the square root. Well, before you do anything, a good approach is to always learn to label where x1, x2 is and where y1, y2 is. Because then you'll know your formula. And I do recommend writing these formulas, for example, on the top of your exam paper just once. So then that way, when you're doing the exam, you don't have to keep writing the question out the formula out every time. You can just go refer back to the top of your exam, and that's a good exam technique. So we've got x1, y1, x2, y2. Cool? All right. Well, we've got x1 this time being 3, take away 5 squared, right? x1 take away x2 all squared, or x2 take away x1 all squared. It doesn't make a difference. 3 take away 5 is minus 2, but when you square it, it's 4. 5 take away 3 is 2. 2 squared is still 4. So it makes no difference. Plus, and then x1, which is minus 2, minus minus 6, which is plus 6, all squared. Cool? So as I said, I'm going to work sideways this time because I might run out of a bit of paper. So square root, 3 take away 5 is minus 2 all squared is 2 squared, which is 4, plus, that's minus 2 plus 6, 4. 4 squared is 16. So as I said, that's 4 plus 16, and that gives us 20. Any questions on that one? All right, well, let's do gradient this time. Same question. So gradient is represented by what letter? M. That's the universal rule, M. And that's y2, so minus 6. Oh, it doesn't make a difference, right? Hope that's clear. Minus 6 minus minus 2, right? y6 minus minus 2 over x2 minus 3, for example. Minus 6 plus 2. Minus minus becomes a plus, right? So that's minus 6 plus 2. That is minus 4 over 5 take away 3 is 2. That's minus 2. Any questions on that one? Nice and easy. And your last one is your midpoint. Midpoint, you just got to add up the 2 and divide it by 2. Add up the 2 points and then just divide it by 2. So nice and easy. Midpoint, something like that. X equals to x1, which is 3 plus 5. y1 is minus 2 plus minus 6 all over 2. Or minus 2 plus minus is still minus, right? Plus minus is still minus. So that's minus 2 minus 6 pretty much. Minus 2 and you minus another 6 is minus 8. Over 2 is minus 4. And your midpoint is therefore 4 minus 4. Yeah, I've never been good at drawing.